This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and I'm about to present for you yesterday's latest in information, current events, pop culture, and politics news. This is your go-to supplemental source. It's a go-to and supplemental source for both mainstream and unconventional news. Some stories you may have missed out there throughout the day with some added context thrown in there as well. We'll tell you how we get these stories to you. 8 of them in the queue for this morning that are conversational as vetted by you and then crafted into this cast by me. So, well, like I said, we'll get to the process. We'll get you some today things for fun stuff and just have a great old ball time for this Tuesday, January the 30th, 2024. Visit our website. This is theconversationproject.com. More details on how to know what we do all day, every day with the Conversation Project. And of course, email us with your comments and concerns at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. It is said Tuesday, the 30th of January, 2024. 1 month basically down for this 12 in this year. And hopefully you're doing well. Mine not as great, but we'll get to that a little bit later in the crying part. It is the actual, promotions of the podcast. For right now, let's get into the actual podcast of the podcast with the news stories for today. No particular order as they're listed, but this is how they played out when we did the actually vetting and putting them into the cast. Today's story number 1 for you is U.S. identifies 3 soldiers killed in attack in Jordan. 3 U.S. soldiers were tragically killed in a drone attack while stationed on a military outpost in Jordan. Circumstances of the attack are still under investigation. What it looks like was this drone was basically playing and waiting up for the return of a military drone from the U.S. as they dropped their defenses. This drone, a slow-rolling drone that is essentially fired by some proxy of Iran, attacked the base, basically injuring 40 people, killing these 3 people. Sergeant William Rivers, 46, of Carlton, Georgia. Specialist Kennedy Sanders, 24, of Waycross, Georgia. And Specialist Brianna Moffitt, 23, of Savannah, Georgia. We're, of course, sending out our prayers and thoughts to those families as well. Had to wait a while to make sure that all the actual people who were killed had a chance to be identified and had the next of kin identified. So it took a while to get this identification. We now know the names of people who died in this attack. And here to read the pictures right there. If you're watching the video, the 3 people who died in this attack a few days ago. A headline for number 2: Sofia Vergara sued by drug lord Griselda Blanco's son, family in no way associated with the Netflix series. We've heard a lot of talk about this series by Sofia Vergara, who is playing Griselda Blanco in the Netflix series, and essentially as a drug queen doing what's going on, known as a cocaine godmother, essentially. The biggest problem was the Blanco family said they're using their likeness for the family, but didn't actually ask them about their story. So the story is basically all made up and silly, but the pictures that they're basically putting on the screen, what they're portraying, is supposed to be them. So when you give people facts that aren't really facts, and we'll go back to that in a bit, people get sued, and that's what's happening right there. Blanco's son is suing because the family image is being tarnished, and just basically the story just is not reality. Our third story for this morning: Alex Murdaugh denied new murder trial over jury tampering allegations. There are a lot of issues with the Alex Murdaugh trial, and trials, if you will, because of course then he got tried for all the money that he was stealing. But the big one we're talking about is the murder of his wife and son. New trial was basically thrown out there as lawyers trying to get a new trial for the whole series. Despite the defense team's efforts to argue jury tampering, it did not come to case. The defense accused the court clerk of influencing the jury. Of course, remember, she famously was saying things to the jury because she was about to write a book about the whole situation. And because of that, Murdaugh thought, hey, I can get this thing thrown out and redone. Not happening. The trial's outcome is what the trial outcome is. He will be sentenced. He's actually been sentenced to the murder conviction, but I'm sure sentenced in other cases. I see it's so many crimes just going out there. At number 4 this morning, Musk, Elon, says first human has received Neuralink brain implant. That's what it's supposed to say in the headline, but here's a picture. Elon Musk says the first human has gotten the Neuralink brain implant, and that's all he's saying about it. Pretty much. Someone's got a Neuralink. That's all it is. We're not going to tell you how it's working. We're not tell you how they're doing. We're just going to tell you that the patient's identity is not going to be told and what the procedures specifics actually took to put it in there. But somebody's got one. Trust me on this. I'm Elon Musk. You can trust me on this because he's Elon Musk, I guess. Let's go on to the next story, which is actually properly in the feed for the video. And the headline reads, Basic income payments spent mostly on housing in Austin, study finds. Austin is a city in Texas, and they initiated a basic income program for 135 low-income households receiving $1,000 a month for a year. That's it. $1,000 a month for a year. Just give them $1,000. Basically, there you go. Don't worry about working. Here's $1,000. Do what you can on top of that. And what they found was the money was spent on pretty much housing, rent, things like that. There wasn't any pickup on anyone doing any extra drugs. Nobody bought any Lambos off of the thing. It was just $1,000 guaranteed to 135 low-income people, and they spent it on what they should have spent it on, and that is rent, housing, security. We'll see if this is a pilot plan that can be extended to more states, more places in Texas, more states as well. But what we're finding out when you give people basic income in most cases, I mean, there are some bad actors. You find that you give somebody basic money to take care of stuff, they take care of the basic stuff, and then they try to take care of the extra stuff on top of that and not worry so much about the basic stuff. At number 6, this is technically a Nicki Minaj story, but it's all really about Ben Shapiro. And that headline reads, Nicki Minaj congratulates Ben Shapiro on #1 track. Not bad. A diss track put out by Ben Shapiro, it basically sticking to what he knows about facts, went out the other day. And let me tell you on a side note, I have a friend who works in conservative talk radio, conservative news radio, and he just did a move to another spot. So we're seeing a lot of different posts from his new move, his new location, things going on. And somewhere mixed in the things between what's going on in the new station and what's going on with his show dogs. He actually trains show dogs as well. Pretty busy guy. He dropped, oh yeah, Ben Shapiro's new rap track drops tomorrow. And I was like, what? And so I listened to it today as I prepared for the story. And it's not bad because there's an actual rapper doing most of the rapping on it. Nicki Minaj, who has been a foil to Mr. Shapiro's talk for a while, is congratulating Ben Shapiro for hitting #1 in streaming on this one. Although I don't think there's going to be a WAP mashup mixing up a working collab for these two folks anytime soon. But congrats to Ben Shapiro for knocking it out of the park with this one. Nicki Minaj even says so. We'll see how it goes going forward. I think his rap career is sort of at a crescendo here, but we'll see what else he pops out later. Maybe a country track. Who knows? There's Nicki Minaj. There she goes. Now, the number 7 story for this morning. Woman clings to hood of speeding car after thieves stole French bulldog in LA. If you're watching the video, you'll see a clip from the video that has been all over the place. If you click the link, you will see the full video of the woman on top of the car. The story behind it is Ali Zacharias said a stranger stole her dog, Onyx, a French bulldog, from a Whole Foods in LA where they were eating. She thought it was a mistake, but she's like, nope, these folks are stealing it. So because French bulldogs are expensive and people love their dogs, she jumped on the people's car and rode it down the street until they basically shook her off. She's offering up $1,000 for a reward for the return of her dog. So if you know the whereabouts of Onyx, you can get a little bit of payment on that one. But yeah, it's this is the times we live in. Essentially, this is what we're working with right now. And the number 8 story for the day: Martin Short shuts down speculation he and Meryl Streep are dating. Now, if you watch the last season, which opened up the final season of Only Murders in the Building, the fact that they played on the ABC lately is a good sign that it's going to come back for at least one more season. The cliffhanger is actually phenomenal. We want to see what happened to the person who got killed at the end of this season. It's always somebody getting killed in the building. Martin Short and Meryl Streep were in this season. Martin Short, a star. Meryl Streep was a guest this year. And there is a very, very loving and touching storyline between the two of them as they fell in love on the show. But they're not in love for real life. In fact, Martin Short has been a widower since his wife died in 2010, which seems like a mighty, mighty long time, because it is, but he's not had any serious relationships since that time. And just letting people know, him and Meryl Streep, just friends, great actors, nothing going on. For our apologies, errors, and omissions for today, we're still getting the hang of remembering I got pictures in this video, so there's that, and clicking things on task going forward. Plus, a very, very long day yesterday, so bear with me for our droning of the morning, and some computer issues, and blah, 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 blah. What we're going to talk about is the omission. Today, we're not talking about this one story. It's an interesting story. We didn't have time spots for it. Psychic says Meghan Markle will struggle, that's in quotes, feeling disappointed Also in quotes, and shortchanged, one more quote, after negotiations for a deal she wanted falls through. That's it. She's going to feel bad about a deal that doesn't work out. We all feel bad about deals that don't work out. We all struggle and feel disappointed and shortchanged about deals that don't work out. So I think the psychic, not quite on the nose on this one, just generalization. Also, I think Venus is in waxing or something like that. So I don't know. But the psychic says that she, being Meghan Markle, will feel disappointed for something that's not going to come through, which I think we all do. I think we are all Meghan Markle in this case. I have no idea what it is that she's worried about, but it's going to be disappointing. It's going to be bad, I guess. Let's talk about our teaser story for the morning. The teaser story section is a part where we tell you how the feeds work and how you can tell us what to talk about in the stories for the Conversation Project. It's pretty simple. Go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. That is our little links, our pages on Facebook and Twitter, or X, if you will, and engage in the stories we post every 50 minutes there. Like them, love them, hate them, share them. The more engagement a story gets, the better chance we have of talking about it. Today, we gave you 8 stories from the top 15 stories from Monday and a tad bit of Tuesday. Same thing happens for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll give you a little bit from the day prior. We'll talk about this story here, and the headline reads, Stanley Tumbler customers claim their cups are testing positive for lead. There's a buzz around that the cups that everybody's scrambling for are testing positive for lead. The Stanley company says there's no lead in our tumblers, but do you want to go deeper into the story? Just let me know by engaging this one and give me all the love, all the hearts, all the little mean faces, and you get a bunch of those. If it's a top 15 story, we'll go deeper into what's going on. Apparently, people think they're being poisoned, and Stanley says, no, you're not. And keep buying our overpriced, overly hyped cups. That's what they didn't say it like out loud, but that's sort of what they're implying. Let's go to our sponsor we're going to spotlight today, and that is Blinkist, Blinkist. Go to this is a conversationproject.com/Blinkist and get yourself in on the gift of knowledge, gift for yourself, and literally a gift for others. Blinkist allows you to read books, like read them, or listen to books, because audiobooks are real books, in minuscule parts of the time. If it's a book that's an unabridged book that may be 8 hours long, you can get the gist of it in 35 minutes. If it's a regular old story book that's not quite storybook, regular old book, nonfiction book that's about 4 or 5 hours of read, you can get it read down in about 15 minutes. And you can literally read the blinks. Blinks are what they do, where they break down the stories, break down the news, break down the actual text into the most important pieces. No fluff, just a straight up knowledge. They read them as the text, or you can have the audio read to you. Some by readers, some by now AI is doing it. So I think they're trying to use AI to make a little more money by hiring less people. Sorry for that, but hey, you get your deal out of Blinkist, and the Blinkist space is the coolest thing about this. You can make a Blinkist space, and you can share a book with anyone out there who doesn't own the app, not paying for it, and they can listen to it, they can get the full experience, and you can chat about it as well. Check it out at thisistheconversationproject.com/Blinkist. This is theconversationproject.com/Blinkist. This is the Blinkist app. If you install the app, we get a small commission because it's an affiliate link. Stop by our sponsors page and see what else you can do for you and for us. But right now, we want you to check this one out because you will fall in love with Blinkist. Falling in love with the Conversation Project is easy. Just stop by our website. This is theconversationproject.com and find out all the things we have to offer. We have so much love to give, so much stuff to give to you that it's just unbearable. Sometimes a little painful, in fact. But we want you to check us out because we have, of course, the replays of all the stuff that we have in our feeds, which is, of course, the feeds and the audio and the video and the links to what we're talking about here. We have links to our other shows, including the weekly wrap-up and the story of the week, which did very well this weekend. Thank you so much for imbibing and all that. We have links to where we provide hot takes and reside for them at TikTok and YouTube and Facebook, things like that. We have all the links to where you can be found and all the ways you can find us there at our website. We also have a link to a page that we call the partnerships page because, oddly enough, We need partners to help us make things work out, both to help us kind of gauge things and to, yes, fund the deal. Here's your warning. I told you yesterday on your warning. No, we're going to warn you up going forward. We're not going to hit you up yet. If you want to be a partner, check it out and see what's there. Every day in February, every day we're posting something that's in a live thing, like things you might not have heard. We'll be doing the pledge drive. So this little segment will be a little bit different. It'll be the pledge drive segment, asking you to step up and give us something. It will happen. Just go with it. So if you want to sort of curb that before it happens, give a little bit now. There'll be a whole lot less of it later. There it is. There's your warning. There's your threat. It's a threat. It's a real threat. Or it's a promise. Either way. Conversation Project lives online at this. It's conversationproject.com. Email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com and follow our feeds every single day to let us know what stories to talk about every single day. Let's get to the fun stuff. You were promised fun stuff. You will receive fun stuff. For the 30th of January, we have fun stuff and we have birthdays, because we always start with birthdays on these things. Birthday wishes going out to Christian Bale, 50 years old on the day, big around 50. So I'm joining the same club that he's joining this year. Although I'm not a former Batman, I'm not a former Wall Street guy, I'm not a very good looking actor who's British, who we forget he's British because he plays these Americans and then he drops his British accent. It's like, whoa, forgot he's British. Christian Bale, 50 years old on the day. Also getting some stripes today is Wilmer Valderrama, who is 44 years old today right now, starring in one of the NCIS shows, one of the 12 that are on right now. And Gene Hackman turning 94 years old on the day today. Here's your lesson for today. We're sticking with 1969, where the Beatles' last public performance on the roof of the Apple Records in London happened. The impromptu concert was broken up by police because it's a riot. The last time they actually performed together in 1969. And today is a day of celebration, my friends. Croissant Day. Tender, buttery, most moist but not mushy, flaky, not crumbly. The slight chewy croissant is perfect when it just sort of melts in your mouth. Eaten alone, accompanied by some chocolate or maybe into a sandwich, the delicate baked good is so delicious that it has earned its own day of the year, and it's certainly worth learning about and celebrating. So go out there and learn you up on some croissants, basically created back in 1683 in the Turkish Empire, and eat yourself some croissants because they are some good eating. Good. Let's get out of here for the day. We're going to take the time to say we did this in record fast time, so we're going to get out of here on time and fast. This has been the Conversation Project's Things You Might Have Heard for Tuesday, January the 30th, 2024. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. Make sure you stop by our feeds every single day, all day, literally all day, because we have news stories posting all day, every 50 minutes to get you to tell us what to talk about. It's that simple. You tell us what to talk about, we put it here. Stay limber, stay hydrated, stay on task for all the grand things you're here for. Consider going to our partnerships page and partnering up with us, and have a great Tuesday. It's that simple. Have a great Tuesday. Can't ask for much more than that. Well, being a partner, could we ask for that too, but have a great Tuesday.